88% of people say they don't trust brands they see online. That's almost 9 out of 10 of the people who scroll past your ads, ignore your offer, or ghost you on sales calls. And when I first saw that, it kind of blew my mind, but it also made sense because I started running ads. I was getting loads of leads, people were even booking in calls, but they weren't really buying. And the truth is, it wasn't because my offer was bad or my pitch was bad. It was because they didn't really trust me yet. I was some random dude on the internet trying to sell some shit to someone from their point of view. Right? And I was losing these to people who had worse services, weaker results, and zero system, but they looked more trustworthy online just because they had some sort of following. So welcome to episode 4 of a 5-part mini-series where I show you the exact framework I used to go from a burnt-out agency owner to building an 80k per month lifestyle business within just a few months. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the trust loop strategy on how you can get a stranger on the internet to actually trust you, like you, and want to actually work with you. So here's the real problem that almost nobody really talks about. Because the market online has changed. Trust is at an all-time low because everybody's seen the same bold guarantees and claims, and everybody's been burned before. Everyone's sick of being pitched in the exact same way and by people who can't actually deliver anything. Just huge promises but no actual results. That's why the majority of ads don't really work anymore. Even why when you're jumping on sales calls, you might still be hearing, listen, let me think about it, or I'm not sure this is the right time, or it sounds great, but how will I know this will work for me? Or worst of all, send me over an email and I'll get back to you, and then you end up getting ghosted. To be honest with you, I had to learn this the hard way. I spent thousands on ads, on funnels, jumping on sales calls, wasting my time and not being able to close anyone. In today's market, the business that wins are the businesses that earn trust the fastest. Not the ones with the best offer, the ones with the most experience. It's the ones that show up consistently and authentically and build trust in the marketplace. And that's where the trust loop strategy comes into place. It's a way to turn cold strangers into pre-sold buyers using nothing but smart, simple content that actually provides value. So the trust loop strategy is just an engine that warms up leads, answers their common objections, and gets them to show up ready to buy on sales calls without you having to chase, pitch, or be pushy on sales calls. So I want to take you back to when this all clicked for me. I flew all the way to Scottsdale, Arizona for a mastermind with some of the biggest names in the industry. I sat down in a room with 7-figure entrepreneurs, and before the event started, we all introduced each other, where we come from, what we do, and how much income our business is making. And every single person who was crushing it, every single person who was hitting the numbers I wanted to hit in my business, which was multiple 6 figures every single month, all had one thing in common. They were all creating content for their audience consistently. They all had some sort of personal brand. And that was the moment it hit me. Look, to be honest with you, before I got there, I knew what I had to do. I knew I should have been creating content, but I wasn't doing it just because I was scared about what people think. I was scared I'd look stupid. I hated the sound of my voice, and I was really and truly scared to be judged by my friends, family, and colleagues. It was that moment where I made the decision to myself. I'd stop listening to that voice in my head. I commit to start making content that was actually focused on connecting rather than trying to impress and focusing on how I would feel about my content. I'd shift the focus on how can I help my actual clients. And my idea was how can I create content for the younger version of me that would actually find value from. The focus was never on becoming a content creator, but it was focused on creating content that acted as sales assets that I could use to build trust with my audience before they actually jump on a sales call. And that was it. I showed up, I made content, and the first few videos were terrible, but I kept pushing through it. And once this started working, that's when my business changed overnight. That was the missing piece of the puzzle that I never really had in my business, and it helped me from going from 10k a month to hitting 80k a month and closing deals with ease. I'm going to break down exactly what the trust loop strategy is so you can start implementing it in your business for you to start seeing the same type of results. So here's why the trust loop strategy works so well. So what most business owners do is they'll run an ad, they'll get a lead, they'll celebrate thinking that they actually made a sale, and they'll go try sell something straight away to someone. But the problem is the trust meter is at an all-time low. The lead doesn't know you, you sound like everyone else, you haven't spent any time with them, and you haven't provided much value to that lead, so you just look like another salesperson trying to sell some shit to someone, shoving down your services down their throat, which doesn't really work in today's market anymore. Remember, people buy from people that they like and they trust. So what we're going to be doing here is trying to build trust with these clients by providing content and value that positions us as an expert. So what we're going to do here is we typically list down all the concerns that our clients typically have when going through a buying decision process. What do they typically tell you in sales conversations? What are the most common objections? We want to list all of those common objections down and the concerns and the sort of problems that our clients are typically facing with. And we're going to start creating content solving those specific problems. We're going to show you how this works and why it works so well. So the first part about the Trust Loop strategy flywheel is that we attract clients. As soon as we attract a client, we engage them in a conversation. Once we engage them in a conversation, we then need to start building trust with our clients and nurturing them into actual sales. Because really and truly, whenever you generate a lead, there's only around 3 to 5% of them who are ready to buy today. The 97% of the market are still thinking about it or don't trust you yet, and it's not the right time for them to purchase. So the mindset we need to have is, how can we actually market to the 97%? And how can we build trust with those prospects so that whenever they are ready to buy, we are the person they're going to go ahead with. The first step is we need to attract clients into our funnel. We do this through the mini magnet funnel and by posting content. The second thing is we engage them in a conversation. Once a lead raises their hand, we start a conversation with those leads, acting as a human, starting and opening an honest conversation, figuring out who they are, what they do, and if we can actually help them. The third step is we build trust, and we do this by posting organic content, by showing our face on different platforms, by answering common objections and retargeting specific clients who have shown interest in our service with that specific type of content. The fourth thing is we nurture, and we do this through value-based emails, by free resources, and giving them all the information they need. And the fifth thing is now we close these people into sales, because we've done all of the necessary steps and we've looked at lead generation and client acquisition as a system. We didn't just stop at leads, we looked at all of the different stages to actually get a client to convert, because that's where most people go wrong. They get a lead, they think I made a sale. And that's why they never actually get results. So I'm going to show you the exact example of how I use this in my business to sign over 200 clients in the past few months alone by using this Trust Loop strategy. And how I went from a random blonde dude sitting on an island in Malta to being someone that my clients actually wanted to work with and were messaging me consistently to sign me up as clients and start engaging to work with them. The first thing we do is we start attracting people into our pipeline through ads. We run a mini magnet funnel to start attracting attention. Now, as soon as someone clicks on the ad and fills out a form, we engage them in a conversation. An automatic WhatsApp message is sent out. I'll call up the leads and just start an open and honest conversation to see if they got what they were looking for and if I can actually help them. Right? And as soon as we do that and we engage, we use Facebook Pixel to be able to retarget all of the people who have shown interest, who clicked on our website, who booked in a call with us, so that we can strategically start pushing content to them that will consistently show our face and deliver value to those clients. We build trust with our prospects by showing them we are experts through value-based content. And the secret to this is that we just want to answer the questions that your potential clients will have going on in their minds. Think about it. We list down all of the common concerns our clients have. We list down all of the questions they typically ask us on sales calls. And we just create content answering those questions that shows that you already know the problems that they are going to have, so that we can then start showing this type of content to your clients who have already engaged you in conversations, who have already booked in sales calls, so that before the sales call actually even happens, they have all of their common objections actually answered, and they look at you like you're an expert because they've spent time on your brand, because you've answered all of the questions that they have going on in your head, and that you've shown you understand their actual problems and you can actually help them. The most important thing to note here that in the trust phase and the nurture phase, we are not trying to sell anything to anyone. The content we are pushing out are not ads. They are just literally value-based content that positions you as experts. Once we build trust, we then go into the nurture phase, which is done through email marketing that again pushes more content their way, pushing them through our YouTube videos, pushing them to our Instagram channel, just for them to have more time on brand and for us to actually nurture those leads into paying clients. Then the last phase is we close, and we jump on a sales calls with clients who are already pre-sold on what we do, have understood exactly what services we offer, and know that our solution can actually help them get to where they want to go. And that's how we go from the trust meter being red to actually being green, because this is where sales happen. Sales happen when prospects actually trust you. And the reason why this never really works is because most clients attract a lead and start trying to sell here when the trust meter is at an all-time low. And that's the secret to our success. And the greatest part about all of this is that you don't need to have 10K followers to get results. You don't need to have an expensive website. You don't need to be an influencer. You don't even have to be good on camera. All of the videos I created when I started out were just done through my phone. I literally recorded myself answering common objections and just put out content that solved the problems my clients were facing. And look, I understand this might be overwhelming and it's like, I don't want to put myself out there, but if you're not going to do this and you're not going to actually implement it, you're working way harder than you need to be. Because all of your sales calls are going to feel like a battle of you trying to sell something to someone and trying to convince something to someone. And sooner or later, you will be left behind the people that adopt it. With AI growing and brands becoming less and less personal, I do believe building a personal brand and having content out there and posting content on a regular basis is going to be your superpower. People crave human interaction. This is a part of the system that you need to implement if you want your business to grow exponentially. If this is something you want to implement in your business, DM me the word 21 on Instagram and I'll send you over all of our free resources. I'll give you access to the mindset beliefs and how to overcome your limiting beliefs about posting content and actually how to develop a content plan that actually works for you, not against you. So that's it for this video. Catch me in the next one where we close off the whole mini series and show you how you can actually start closing deals consistently through online sales calls where it doesn't feel like you're trying to convince people and push people, where you can actually have a sales process that feels easy, that feels authentic, allows you to get the best results possible and have the most impact possible for your business.